GTB on a beat that's broken.
What's good with it, Bully World? Your boys back at you again, Gorilla Tone Bullies. I have decided to start a series called Story Time. And it's basically me giving you guys actual scenarios and actual situations that I've witnessed and I've gone through within my short stint of, being an American bully breeder. And because I think that they could be very educational. I think that people can learn from a lot of mistakes that I've made. And so I'm gonna give you a story right now. Back when I first started, I started out as wanting to be a breeder, and I still have an interest in that, just not right now. And I had bred my females that I had at the time. And I had a buddy of mine who I had used his male, and Boss was his name. And he had some friends that were out at this yearly flea market that we have here in Texas in the summer, where it's an outdoor flea market where people are outside selling all kinds of stuff. It's like a huge thing. And it's known for people out there selling registered pups. So he knew a family that was out there that contacted him and said, hey, we have an American Bully female. The blood is Michael and Dax. She's a black brindle, and she's the only one left. We ready to get out of here and go home. So do you know anybody who's interested? We're going to sell her for dirt cheap. See, what they did was they would have a set quota of how much money they would like to make off this litter. And once they made that quota, it didn't matter if they had 2 or 3 dogs left, they would sell those pups for dirt cheap. So my man got a hold of me and says, hey, listen, bro, I know you said you wanted more than one female on your stable. I know these people. They got this girl who's Michael and Dax, and they selling her for dirt cheap. And I'm like, well, how much? Because I'm familiar with Michael blood because, the female that I had at the time was full of Michael, Bull Blood, and Miyagi. And it was like, man, they said they'll let her go for 150. I said 150. Tell them to send me some pictures. Now, this pup, I think, was like 8 weeks. I want to say, give or take a little bit. Now, I was either 8 weeks or a little bit older. One or the other. And, as a pup, they start out looking a certain way. You really don't truly know how a dog is going to develop unless you really know that lineage, that blood, and where those dogs come from. That's how you can pretty much understand how that pup's going to turn out 9 times out of 10. But I didn't have the pedigree in front of me. I didn't have the papers in front of me at the time. I just knew, I was familiar with Michael, and Dax wasn't a bad thing either. So I was like, all right, man, bet. I ain't got nothing to do this weekend. Let's roll up there, and I'm going to throw these people this $1.50. We're going to get this pup. So I drove up there. He came with me since he was familiar with the people. They brought me the little girl, and we named her Zoe. So, you know what I'm saying? They gave me the spiel and this and that and yada, yada, yada. They seemed like nice people. So, I got the dog, got the papers, went home, started digging back in the lineage, and saw that it was full of Michael and blood, but that was not that. It was very little Dax in there. Dax was like way down the line. You know what I'm saying? So I was pretty much messing with Michael and blood. So okay, I got her for $1.50. We'll see how she turn out. Now the moral of the story is, a lot of times you get what you pay for. I'm telling you, especially with American Bullies. I know people don't understand when people are charging all these big prices for these pups, but a lot of times you get what you pay for. So I kept that dog for a certain amount of months, and the older she got, the longer she got in her back, the taller she got. I kept her till she was about 5 months. By the time she was 5 months, she looked like a basset hound. Like straight up like a basset hound, bro. And I'm like, yo, she's not, she's just not gonna, I ain't gonna be able to do nothing with her, you know what I'm saying? And I did have a couple of my homies like, yo, Brian, still early. She hadn't popped yet. Keep her. She's in the lanky stage. And I just had a feeling this thing gonna turn out right. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I kept him for some more weeks. I was like, forget it. You know, my wife had a coworker who had an American Bully male, and he actually had an exotic, real short, and he was wanting something to take him to. And I was like, yo, if you want this dog, he can have her. I mean, papers and all, because I won't be able to do nothing with it. She just didn't turn out the way I thought she was going to turn. Well, I wouldn't say thought she was going to turn out. She didn't turn out, period. Because I paid it $150 for this dog, and I kind of knew, you know what I'm saying? I just had to know. $150, whatever. You know, papers too, whatever. So we gave him this dog with the papers, and he would always send update pictures, even brought her back over once. And she had got up to about 10 months. And guess what? She still looked like a basset hound. Even more so at 10 months, like a basset hound, than she did when she was 5 months when I had her. So listen, here's the moral of the story. If you got people out there selling pups for 150, 250, 350, 500, it's a rare occasion. I'm not saying that it's not possible, but it's a rare occasion that you're going to run across somebody selling a pup for that much and it turn out to be what you think it's going to turn out to be. My opinion, when you buying a pup, I've already stated it. Know that breeder on a personal level. Pick their brain. Find out the bloodline that he's using and go back in the lineage. Don't just buy a pup by a breeder who has good looking dogs that you don't know nothing about that breeder or those dogs. And be very mindful about pups that cost you $150, $500 or whatever. Because 9 times out of 10, you get what you pay for. You get what you pay for. So it was a mistake that I made that I learned from. But hey, I still got her a good home because he still has that dog to this day. Old Zoe. Basset Hound Zoe. But man, that's just my story for today. Take it how you want. Comment down below. Let's conversate about it. You know what I'm saying? And I appreciate you for checking out this video for whoever is watching it right now. Respect all, fear none. God bless.